What's going on, guys? It's been a while since I did a little pickups video, and it's just because I've been amassing video games. So let us not delay any further and start off with some Switch games. So, for some particular reason, I don't think I included Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World in any of my previous pickup videos, but just to let you know, I do have this game, and I've spoken about it before. It's one of those revitalized action platforming games from back in the day, and the aesthetic is really, really nice. It has a couple other entries on the Switch that I own as well, and they're just really, really nice looking. So here is the third, I guess, game that came out for the Switch in the same series. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus by Serenity Forge, or at least they published it. One of the most disturbing games I have played. It's definitely top 5 weirdest experiences in a video game that I have had. I streamed it over on my Twitch channel and added some voice acting, which was really fun, but we beat the game and it kind of keeps on going a little bit more. It gets crazier and just a bit more disturbing. Lots of breaking of the fourth wall in this game, and don't let these looks deceive you, right? You see the cover here, it kind of looks like an anime girl dating sim, which it kind of is, but it's violent and gory and extremely disturbing. That's kind of the catch here. So don't let these looks deceive you by any means. It's a cool addition to the collection here. It comes with some stuff as well, like some in-universe items and some stickers back there. But yeah, very, very disturbing. And I'm glad to have experienced that. One of the handful of games that I've beaten this year so far. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. You have all 18 quintillion games in one package here. I'm not a big Lego game guy, but I always wanted an all-encompassing compilation of these Star Wars games, and this one has it. It had some day one DLC that I am a sucker for, so I got some extra characters, or I don't even know what I bought, to be honest. But I think people have been enjoying this game. The graphics have been enhanced, and some gameplay enhancements as well. Pokemon Shield. So, the only reason I picked up this game, and you'll see in a little bit, is because Pokemon games are always going to be sought after. So after they have a few years under their belt, they retain their price, and if anything, go up further. So I'm not a fan of Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's the first games in the Pokemon franchise that disallowed you from collecting or catching them all, really, right? This is these Sword and Shield are the first games in which you cannot have every single Pokemon, and in my opinion, that is just sacrilege. There's some gameplay elements that were further expanded on in Pokemon Legends Arceus. So this kind of like gave everyone a glimpse at what Game Freak was working on, but not a fan of not being able to obtain all the Pokemon. So this one's going to stay sealed for a bit. I chose Shield just because the Dogbert looked pretty cool, more so than the Sword dog. So here it is. Pokemon Shield. Pokemon Shining Pearl! Yeah, this is a much better game, in my opinion. There is some nostalgia at play here because I used to own Diamond. on the DS. And when there's re-releases of these Pokemon games, I just tend to buy the opposite of whatever I bought in the past. Just because. I don't know why I like Dialga more than Palkia. Palkia now looks like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers boss monster. And yeah, I'm
not really sure if the Kanto region is included here, but because this is Sinnoh, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't done any research or like sleuthing around in Reddit to see if it is included in this game, because back in the day that was a huge surprise when you were able to...
Oh, scratch that. That's a Pokemon Gold and Silver, never mind. But I've been playing this game, actually, and it's really fun. Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm getting attached to some of my Pokemon, and the GameStop guy actually swindled me into buying the cartridge protection for an extra $3, but this little pre-order bonus would come with that protection, and I basically only did it for these art cards that he totally hustled me on. But look, check them out. They're really, really nice. Look at that. Dialga. The starters, back in the day I chose Chimchar. This time I'm going with my boy Turtwig. Piplup is just... eh. And check out Palkia. That's really cool. Honestly, these are worth the $3 that I paid for them. Or at least that's what I am going to tell myself. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I am also not a Kirby guy, but when they were teasing this game, it looked a lot like Super Mario Odyssey, and people kind of thought that this was going to be an open world Kirby game, which it is not. It is level based, so there are self-contained experiences, kind of like Super Mario 3D World. It's more so in that vein. And I am also playing this game currently and streaming it at the time of this recording, and so far it's pretty solid. It's very laid back and pretty easy, kid-friendly. I think all Kirby games are sort of like that, and this is going to be my first Kirby game that I complete ever. I know that might be crazy to some of you, but if I keep playing it, which I plan on doing so, yeah, this will be my first experience beginning to end for Kirby. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition from Square Enix. So, I think the cool thing about this game is that it's been long awaited or something. It's the HD remaster of sorts that includes the prologue, Radical Dreamers. And don't crucify me or anything, but I think this is the sequel to Chrono Trigger, if I'm not mistaken. This game had originally come out on the PS1, and I had seen it very many times, and I never pulled the trigger on it. And I'm glad I did. Patience is a virtue, because this game came out. So, it's kind of like the upscaled version or whatever with some added goodies, and a lot of people have been gushing about it, so here it is. I'll play it at some point. Disco Elysium, the final cut. Don't know much about this game. I just know that a lot of people love it. One of those very heavy story-based games in which your decisions and actions affect the course of the game. And when I heard it was coming out on Switch, I wanted to find out what all the hubbub was about. So at some point, whenever I have time, I'll check it out. Let me know in the comments if you've played this game and how your experiences were, because I'm curious. A lot of people really love it. It's critically acclaimed, and I'm not really sure what it's about too much. I haven't watched any gameplay footage, but I know it's like isometric, and it's brilliant. The serial killer pickup of the day is Snipper Clips Plus. Cut it out together. And why does it deserve that title? Well, I already own this game digitally. I bought it back in 2017 when the Switch first came out, and there was a lot of press surrounding this game and how you can split the Joy-Cons and play with a friend, and it's actually really, really fun. This is the physical edition, which I needed to just have my hands on, and it includes some added bonuses and stuff like that, some extra levels perhaps, so I think I'm actually gonna break the seal and check it out with my wife, because it's really, really good fun. I want to keep it sealed, but nah, games are meant to be played. So if I need to check out those extra levels, I don't have a problem just cracking this one open. I got it for a decent price. I think it's going up in value. Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. Record of Lodos War. That's quite the title for a game that has other entries in it. Not really sure, but my friends over at the Game MD hit me up and said, hey, we have some of these. Do you want one? So I just looked it up, and lo and behold, it's like a Castlevania Symphony of the Night clone of sorts, and I mean that in the best way possible. There's nothing wrong with emulating a masterpiece of a game, and I heard it's relatively short, about 10 hours, so I'll be checking this one out pretty soon, I think. Yeah, looks pretty interesting and fun. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is just an amazing, amazing game. I love it very much. Lots of nostalgia attached to that one as well, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out. See what sort of similarities and inspiration it's drawn from that. Super Meat Boy from Limited Run Games. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys right now, but I only picked this game up for the epic cover art. Just check that out. You know, anyone that is familiar with Super Meat Boy knows that the visuals in the game are nothing like this. They're more like that. And I'm okay with that. I've played this game before. Not really my cup of tea, but maybe one day I'll really want to play those like time trial and beat your own high score, hard obstacle course type games. But for right now, it's going to stay sealed just because it looks amazing. Triangle Strategy by Square Enix. This is supposed to be like a Final Fantasy Tactics game in the same visual style as Octopath Traveler. And if you're familiar with that title, you'll know that the visuals in that game are very, very nice. Like pixelated, but at the same time modern with some visual effects. And I don't know, it just looks great. And I've kind of been staying away from any spoilers or reviews or any sort of thing of this game. It's kind of flown under the radar as of late. Like, no one has been really ranting and raving about it, except this one guy on YouTube was saying that this is just a brilliant game. So I'm pretty excited to check it out at some point because I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics. And yeah. Bug Fables and the Everlasting Sapling by Limited Run. I waited for this game to come out, or at least be shipped to me, for almost a year. And that is because when I placed my order with Limited Run, I had also placed a couple Game Boy games, which we'll be taking a look at in a little bit here. And we all know that if you place your order with Limited Run Games, they will not ship you your order until all the items are ready to ship. And if you're putting two and two together here, Game Boy games to manufacture a little cartridge take a lot longer. But anyways, enough about me ranting about the shipping times. You see the little card. I like it. It's pretty cool. Some bug burts. This game is supposed to be like Super Paper Mario, and We all know those games are awesome. Turn-based RPGs. But this one is about bugs. I love the subtitle, The Everlasting Sapling. Yeah, it's very nice. Switch Sports! Yeah, this is kind of like Wii Sports, but on the Switch, and some added sports that weren't in before, but they got rid of boxing, which is sad. And I think they got rid of baseball. That's also sad. Oh man, they got rid of golf too. Jeez. We got volleyball, badminton, bowling, soccer, chambara, and tennis. I've checked this game out just briefly. It comes with a leg strap that you put on your thigh if you want to play the soccer game, which I heard is not great. Played a little bit of tennis, and yeah, just your standard fare here. Last Switch game is Tormented Souls, published by P-Cube. Good guys, P-Cube. Yes, this is one of those games that attempts at reviving a dying genre, which is the survival horror genre, and I think it does it pretty well. I love the fact that this game gives you the option to play with tank controls via the D-pad, or you can just opt for the more modern control style with the analog stick. And yeah, I've been streaming it, and it's pretty creepy. I think ammo is going to be scarce, and yeah, I don't know much else about the game other than it does have those fixed camera angles and that sort of thing. It's really trying to be like a Resident Evil game, and I can appreciate that. I'm looking forward to continue playing it and hopefully beating it. Speaking of reviving survival horror games, we got Daymare, 1998. If I'm not mistaken, the developers of this game were trying to mod a Resident Evil game or something like that, and they caught the attention of Capcom, perhaps. And Capcom was actually a good guy, and they helped them develop the game. Everything that I said may be inaccurate, but it's something like that. That's kind of what happened here. And yeah, just another game that's trying to emulate the more modern Resident Evils, I believe. So, kind of an obscure title right here. I wonder if it's creepy. I'm sure it is, if it's trying to imitate what Resident Evil does. I'm telling you, Resident Evil Biohazard on the GameCube is just terrifying. I'm pretty sure if I pop in that game today, I'll still poop my pants. Mortal Shell. Yeah, another game that I don't really come across in the wild. I got this one and Daymare at this video game store that has a plethora of these more obscure titles. They have them everywhere. It's like an old school Blockbuster. It's crazy. I don't know where they get their stock. But here's Mortal Shell, which is like a Souls-like game. My brother has played this and said that it's pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure if it came with anything. You're going to have to let me know, because this is just the case here with the game. But yeah, cool stuff. Riot Civil Unrest by Merge. It's published by Merge. I'm a big fan of those guys as well. I tried playing this, and it was a little bit more complex than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was one of those like control a mob and kind of lead them into battle against a mob of other people, whether you're the rioters or law enforcement, because you could choose which side you want to be on. And I didn't get it. It's a little complex, actually, and the riots or whatever are based on real life events. So that's kind of interesting. It Takes Two! I heard good things about this couch co-op game. Now, if you buy the game, it comes with a code that you can gift a friend, and they don't need to buy the game. So you can play online, and your friend doesn't have to own the game. And it's just, a cooperative, I guess, puzzle-solving game that won a Game of the Year, I think, somewhere. I feel like every game wins Game of the Year somewhere, but this one is supposed to be a good one. Children of Morta. Again, published by Merge. This is one of those modern-day pixelated titles, top-down RPG of sorts. Don't know much of it, but I've heard good things. And it's kind of hard to come by nowadays, I think, at least where I'm at. So once I saw this at that store that has obscure games, I went ahead and picked it up. Maybe it's good. Maybe it sucks. Slay the Spire. I got a European PAL copy here, and this shall remain sealed. Quick and obsessive, funny story time. The day that I purchased this on Amazon, it was announced to be the free PlayStation Plus game of the month. So I kind of facepalmed there, but at the same time I rejoiced because I'll be able to keep it sealed and enjoy it digitally, which I did. This is a roguelite, card-based, turn-based game, and it's really fun. It's addicting. The game is broken down in runs, and I'm not really sure how many levels there are, but I can't get past the second boss just yet. It's been a few days since I played it, but I was hooked on it for a good week. That's all I could think about. And here it is in physical form. Slay the Spire, check it out, don't sleep on it. Moving on to some PS5 games. Oh man, Drunken Fist, totally accurate beat 'em up. On PS5, that's right. I streamed this game as well, and I beat it. Very short. 7 levels, if that's what you want to call them. And it's just a floppy, ragdoll, not accurate or responsive type game. It was funny. It's physical here, and it comes with a little certificate of authenticity. I don't think this game is going to get a huge print run by any means. So you know me, I had to jump on it. Horizon 2 Forbidden West. Boy, oh boy, am I very excited to check this game out. I've heard recently a lot of people complaining that it's repetitive, but I think that's the same thing that was said about Part 1, and I loved Part 1. The visuals were stunning. I can't wait to see what the PS5 version looks like. And if it's similar at all to Part 1, which it is, I know for a fact that I'm going to enjoy it. I heard that there's like a pretty interesting plot twist or something in the game. And I'm excited to check this one out. Whenever I knock out some more titles, I think this one's going to enter the rotation somewhere around there. Elden Ring. Oh man, this one, an amazing open world Souls-like. I dabbled in it just briefly because I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see how the open world formula would interact with Souls-like, and it's awesome. So I haven't really played it for very many hours, but people are just constantly playing it. I'm sick and tired of hearing everyone that's speed running it. Like every day, I think they chop off like a minute.
Like, oh, a player beats Elden Ring in 3 minutes.
And it's like, all right, that's great. That's great. But I guess I'm also happy for the speedrunning community. If that's your thing, then you can try your hand at this one. But I feel like a game like this needs to be enjoyed through and through. Experienced every last drop of it. They knocked it out of the park. From Software, they know what they're doing. Oh boy. Sifu! The Vengeance Edition here. I waited a month for this game to come out physically after it was available digitally because, well, you know me. And yes, brilliant 3D beat 'em up of sorts. I'm playing on master difficulty, so it's actually very hard. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here, but if you're watching my streams, you know that I haven't made it past the first level. Even to this day, I tried a little bit. I couldn't do it. The boss is a jerk. He's very, very hard. So if you play in master difficulty, yeah, the game is tough. It has that aging mechanic where every time you die, you can continue your run, but you're adding years onto your life. And the more and more old you get, the less health you have. And then eventually you hit like, your 80s and that's it. Game over. And it tosses you out to the main screen. I have no idea what's going to happen if and when I complete stage 1. Like, am I going to get rejuvenated a little bit because I'm not going to be able to beat the game as an 80-year-old geriatric kung fu guy. Very, very nice visual style in this game. It's kind of like cel-shaded. This is, to my knowledge, the only physical edition that has released is the Steelbook. There you have it. It came with an art book. I'll just leaf through it very briefly. Like that. Did you internalize it all? And of course, some art cards. You can pick to be male or female in the game, which is nice. You can unlock some permanent upgrades in the game if you keep amassing some points. So it uses that mechanic of permanent unlocks. Yeah, brilliant game. I'm going to continue playing it. I hope to beat it at some point. I'm getting better. It's one of those games that just tries you really hard until you keep getting better and better. It's not unfair, I don't think. But yeah, awesome game so far. All right, let's do those Game Boy games I alluded to a little bit earlier from Limited Run. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that Metal Masters is one of them. It's a fighting game, and it's kind of weird because once you've destroyed the enemy robot's arms, they're basically gonna run away from you for the rest of the match, and that's all she wrote. You'll win eventually. Came with a nice little card, usual Limited Run stuff. Nice novelty to have, really. And we got Starhawk, which is a horizontal shoot 'em up space shooter. You fight some aliens, that sort of thing. Here's the card. Colored cartridge as well. Good stuff, good stuff. I like having these things in my collection. Another cartridge-based game, Vortex, on the Super Nintendo. This uses the FX chip, I think. Not really sure what it's about. I went into the game store and I was like, this looks interesting, I think, and nabbed it. If you know anything about this game, I think you're a robot mech or something, and it uses those primitive polygonal visuals, that sort of deal. A Sega Genesis game, everyone. It's Rocket Knight Adventures. You're a Dogbert, and you're fully clad in armor, and you have like this rocket jetpack ability, and that's kind of how you traverse through the game, just like an adventure platformer here. Expanding my Sega Genesis collection that I can play on my Retron. This one is kind of a high ticket item, and I've heard really good things about it. So I'm like, yeah, let's beef up the Sega Genesis collection with this very good boy.
Another cartridge-based game.
And I'm gonna introduce it with this vintage, not really, figure that I got at a flea market warehouse. It's DK King of Swing. Oh man, I'm so excited about this game that I'm just moving the entire scene that I have here. Yeah, this game is cool, and it is very hard. I'm trying to stream it. Here it is. It's not complete, just the cartridge here, but a very creative way. It's not like your traditional Donkey Kong games. It's more of a puzzle-ish action game. You're Donkey Kong and you're swinging around on your two monkey hands on these grabbable objects, and that's kind of how you traverse around levels, and some very creative bosses, I must say. But it's getting very, very hard, and it unfortunately went on the chopping block for games that I'm streaming just because I don't want to die a million times live. Yeah, good stuff. A DS game, the legendary Starfy. I think this might be a hidden gem. It's supposed to be good. Starfy is an underused Nintendo character. I think, yeah, this is a first-party Nintendo game. Does Starfy have any relation with Luma? Maybe? Maybe not? Not really sure what's going on here, what universe Starfy belongs to, but this game is in pristine condition and complete. And yeah, nice little item to add to the collection. Another cartridge-based game. Here we have it on the NES, Wild Gunman. So I was on a light gun kick for whatever reason. I was having a lot of fun with Hogan's Alley and Duck Hunt. My game room really felt like a retro arcade. And Wild Gunman, I must say, is kind of weird. Is it just like a reaction test? Like a reaction time test? Right, you do your Western standoff with one of these hooligans here, and they draw their guns and you gotta shoot them before they shoot you type deal. Once you reach 100 kills, it just kind of resets, and I don't think there's a game type B, and if it is, it's just not cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic game, and I own it now. Some more Nintendo stuff. Burnout on GameCube. This game has eluded me for a long time. My friend Gus bought it on PS2 for me when we went game shopping one day, and when we got home, it didn't work. It didn't play on the PS2, so I just kind of have it laying around somewhere back in my hometown. But then I came across the GameCube copy, and I was like, yep, it's time. It's time to finally own it. So I hope this works. I don't have my GameCube just yet, but I'm sure it will, because the CD is pretty immaculate. I think the PS2 one was a little bit beat up, so something happened there, but here it is, Burnout on GameCube. The one that started it all. Yeah, racing and crashes, slow motion stuff. Good times. Opuna on the Wii. Opuna. What a weird name, and what a weird game, I think. It's like a turn-based RPG, and you're this dude, this little astronaut guy. I'm assuming his name is Opuna. And found it in that game store with all the weird stuff. I had come across this game in a past trip, and I passed on it. But this time when I returned, if this is the same copy, it was now behind a glass display case. So I was like, oh man.
Gotta have it now.
So I bought it, and I think it's supposed to be pretty neat. A Boy and His Blob on the Wii. Man, I've been looking for this game for 10,000 years. I finally have it, and I'm so happy. Limited Run is now doing a release for it on the Switch and PS4. Who cares? I guess the more people that have games, the better the world becomes. But this is supposed to be a puzzle game, right? You're a little boy, and I don't know if you control the blob, but the blob helps you figure stuff out, and it's supposed to be pretty good. So here it is, a boy and his blob. Alright, some PS2 games to wind down the video. We got Onimusha 3, Demon Siege. It has this guy, the actor, right? Is his name like Jean Paul or something? No, Jean Beno from The Professional. Amazing movie. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. And that says a lot coming from someone that doesn't watch TV or movies because I'm too busy playing video games. Yeah, Onimusha, really cool samurai Resident Evil style game, but I think the third entry is more action oriented. Part 2 was more of a survival horror type deal. I remember spectating my brother play that game back in the day. And yeah, it was pretty creepy, and the end boss sequence was so badass. I need to find part 1 of the series. I feel like they should, Capcom should do something with this IP and maybe release another one, even though the market might be a little bit oversaturated with samurai games. Yeah. NFL Street 2. Part 1 is a really cool game. And then part 2 came out and introduced wall running. You could, like, the ability to run on walls and break tackles that way. And I think that was kind of annoying. But they also tweaked the visuals to be a lot more gritty and realistic. Part 1 had more cartoonish visuals to it, and that added to the charm. It really did. So part 2 started, changing up the formula a little bit and is nowhere near as cool as part 1. Maybe not. Look, it's Exhibit. Yeah, Exhibit and Shocky, right? Yeah. These games don't come out nowadays too much. And here it is. I wanted to add this one to my collection. Run Like Hell, Hunt or Be Hunted. Hadn't heard much of this game, I think just once on a Radical Reggie video. And I think he was laughing about it, saying that it was like cheesy and kind of terrible. But I've never seen it out in the wild. And if the premise is being some dude running from this monster, right? I mean, it pretty much says it in the title. I think that's kind of novel in a way. So here it is in my collection. Forever. Rise of the Kasai. Is this part 2 to Mark of Kree or something? It sure looks like it. Rated M here. The price was a little bit higher than the rest of the games it was surrounded by. So I assumed that it had some merit, and don't know much of it. Probably just like a 3D slasher sort of game. Yeah. And actually my last pickup is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oogie's Revenge with Jack Skellington here. This one was a little bit more expensive. And it's probably just like a 3D action-adventure game. Don't have much else to say about it, other than I hope it's decent. Alright, and now for kind of the collectibles portion of the video. We don't have much, but I do want to cover this Palamute amiibo that I've been looking for. It was unboxed at that same store. But given the fact that I love Monster Hunter Rise, it's cool to have a physical item from an in-universe character. You can have these dogs, and they're kind of your transportation. So here he is. yeah, the Monster Hunter amiibos are kind of hard to come across. So the only one I could find is this unboxed one. The detail is very nice. And yeah, here he is. Arf! He's hanging out over here with Nabbit, making sure he doesn't steal any of my games. And again, here in my Vaporeon shrine, I'm not a Funko guy, but this Vaporeon kind of looks like maybe if his head was just a little bit smaller, it wouldn't be so much of a Funko, which is good because you know, I don't collect those or anything. But Vaporeon is one of my favorite Pokemon, I would say. This is not my childhood Vaporeon holographic card. That one was stolen. So when I saw this for sale, I was like, let me recoup it in some capacity. And now he's hanging out with a Vaporeon Funko. And
Jesus Christ.
these are still coming out. There's no release date for the rest, I think, which are like Steve from Minecraft. The Tekken character. I don't even know. I've lost track. But here we are in 2022, and we're still buying Super Smash Bros. Amiibos. Yeah, here's Min Min from ARMS. I'll just go ahead and say that I don't think I've even played as Min Min in Super Smash. She's one of those nuanced characters with a lot of like depth to them because of her stretchy arms and how you can pick different attachments on the fly while you're playing in Super Smash. So pretty complex character. Yeah, they chose her over like the main guy. What was it, like Spring Man and Spring Girl? I don't know. Here she is. I had to clear the area for this last pickup. Check it out. Bam! I don't think it's all gonna fit in frame here, but yeah, I got a boxed set of DK bongos. It doesn't come with a game. Donkey Konga. I know there's part 1 and 2. I do own Jungle Beat, however, and I believe those are the only 3 games compatible with the bongos. Or maybe you can play other GameCube games, right? Because it's only like the inputs are just the bongos and that sort of thing. But yeah, there it is. Really cool to have found this boxed. It's a little beat up, but I'll take it because you usually find these loose. Well, guys, that about wraps it up for this pickups video. It's been long overdue. 40 games that we went over here and some accessories and collectibles and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out my streams. I'm always playing a vast variety of games. Let me know what you thought and what your favorite or most surprising pickup of the bunch was. But yeah, good times, good games. Okay, bye.